Hi everyone, I'm Ava, and welcome back to Your Financial Journey. There's hardly any industry in the U.S. more powerful than our country's banks. They safeguard deposits, provide loans, and facilitate payments for millions of Americans. And their role in creating liquidity, allocating capital, and regulating risk have a massive impact on the entire economy. In recent decades, banks have only become more consolidated, with the largest ones seeing their size and total market share increase to new levels. In fact, according to Visa Banking, the 10 largest banks in the U.S. control over 60% of total banking assets in the country, and the 3 largest banks alone control around 40% of total banking assets. But which banks exactly are playing such important roles in the economy? Well, that's what we'll be covering in today's video. The 10 largest banks in the U.S. We'll be going by total deposits, or the total amount of money that customers have put into their accounts at the bank. We'll work our way up from number 10 to number 1, and briefly cover each bank's total assets, history, and main focus. Let's get started. 10. TD Bank. At number 10 is TD Bank. And if you ever wondered what TD in the name stands for, it's for Toronto Dominion, because TD Bank is actually the American arm of a Canadian bank, the Toronto Dominion Bank. And kudos to them for their $293 billion in deposits, which makes them the only foreign bank on our top 10 lists. TD Bank built its market share in the U.S. largely through mergers and acquisitions, such as when it acquired Commerce Bank in 2008. And despite TD Bank's Canadian roots, it's branded itself as America's most convenient bank. Or rather, maybe it's because of its Canadian roots, because the bank is famous for its convenient services, long branch hours, and many locations. It has a strong retail presence throughout the country, particularly in the Northeast, and it makes money primarily through lending, collecting interest on mortgages, personal loans, and small business financing, while also charging fees for everyday banking and credit card services. And next up, 9. Goldman Sachs. With roughly $390 billion in deposits, Goldman Sachs comes 9th on this list. Goldman Sachs was founded by Marcus Goldman, a German-born businessman, in a basement office next to a coal chute in 1869. But it's grown from that to become one of the world's top investment banks, with locations in over 60 cities. Goldman Sachs focuses primarily on serving corporations, governments, and wealthy individuals, and is known for advising on mergers and acquisitions, underwriting securities, and trading in markets. In recent years, though, Goldman has made efforts to diversify. It expanded into consumer banking with Marcus, an online banking platform named after its founder, in 2016, and it partnered with Apple to issue the Apple Card. It now has a sizable retail presence, but one that's still smaller than some of the traditional giants, including the next bank on our list. 8. Truist Bank. In 8th place, with around $418 billion in assets, is Truist Bank. It was created in its current form by the merger of BB&T, or Branch Banking and Trust Company, and SunTrust Banks, and now the bank has a strong network with nearly 2,000 locations and millions of customers. Truist has a strong presence in the South, and is headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. The bank earns its revenue from lending, mortgages, wealth management, and insurance services, and is known for its commitment to customer service. And with that, let's move on to 7. PNC Bank. PNC Bank, with about $432 billion in deposits, takes the number 7 spot on this list. PNC is a shortened name taken from the 2 banks whose merger created the company, the Pittsburgh National Corporation and the Provident National Company. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the bank has long been based in Pittsburgh and the Midwest, but it's been expanding nationwide in the past few years. PNC serves individuals, small businesses, and large corporations, and it makes its money through lending, investment services, and fees from treasury management. It's known for its mix of community banking and national presence, making it one of the most versatile large banks in the country, something it shares with the next bank on our list. 6. Capital One. Number 6 on our list is Capital One, which has about $497 billion in deposits. Founded in the 1990s, Capital One is headquartered in McLean, Virginia, on the outskirts of Washington, D.C., and a bit newer than some of the other banks on this list. Its initial focus was primarily credit cards, and it was established with the idea of using new technology and data analysis to disrupt the industry. Its novel approach worked, because today, Capital One is one of the largest credit card issuers in the country and earns billions of dollars in interest and fees every year. And it's expanded into other areas too: auto loans, mortgages, commercial banking, and more. That's allowed it to become a full-service bank like the others on this list, including 5. U.S. Bank. At spot number 5 is U.S. Bank, or U.S. Bancorp, with about $523 billion in deposits. The bank originally gets its name from the U.S. Bancorp of Oregon, which was merged first with the Minneapolis-based First Bank System in 1997 and then acquired by First Star in 2000. It's grown to become one of the largest banks in the country and is known for its strong digital platforms and efficient operations. U.S. Bank makes money from a wide range of activities, including consumer and commercial lending, payments, and wealth management. It also earns significant fee income from investment services, which has given it a diversified model that makes it less dependent on a single business line. That could also be said for the next bank on our list. 4. Citibank. With roughly $790 billion in deposits, Citibank takes 4th place, making it one of the big 4 banks in the U.S. Citibank is the primary subsidiary of Citigroup, a global financial services firm. So in addition to offering traditional retail banking with credit cards, wealth management services, and consumer products, it has a strong global presence and customers in dozens of countries. Citibank's services like foreign exchange and treasury management have made it a banking partner to countless international governments and large businesses. That role on the global banking stage, as well as its retail bank, have given it a massive role in the U.S. and global economy. But even though Citibank is massive, there are still banks that surpass it in size. And with that, let's get into the top 3 largest banks in the U.S. 3. Wells Fargo Bank. Rounding out the top 3 is Wells Fargo, with deposits surpassing $1 trillion, specifically $1.39 trillion in 2025. Wells Fargo was founded in 1852 to provide banking services to California during the California Gold Rush, and by the end of it, it had already become a dominant banking organization. Today, it's become a household name, serving millions of customers and businesses with loans, checking accounts, and investment services. Wells Fargo is also one of the country's top mortgage lenders, as well as earning money from interest on loans, service fees, and wealth management. It also offers financing and stock brokerage services. In recent years, though, Wells Fargo has faced some bad headlines. Between 2002 and 2016, there was a fraud scheme in which employees opened millions of unauthorized customer accounts and credit cards, and charged fees for doing so. The bank was fined $185 million, had to reach a $3 billion settlement with the Department of Justice and SEC, and received a $1.95 trillion cap on its assets, a cap that was only lifted this past June. But the bank has done its best to rebuild its reputation since then, and remains the country's largest aside from our top 2. Starting with 2. Bank of America. In second place on our list is Bank of America, which has approximately $1.98 trillion in deposits. Based in Charlotte, North Carolina, it's taken on an important place on the national stage thanks to its merger with Nations Bank in 1998 and its acquisition of Merrill Lynch during the 2008 financial crisis. Today, Bank of America is one of the most diversified banks in the world, earning money from consumer banking, credit cards, wealth management, and investment banking, while its Merrill Lynch division makes it a leader in brokerage, financial advisory, and wealth services. With nearly 70 million customers and over $2.6 trillion in total assets, it truly is a powerhouse in the U.S. economy. And it's surpassed only by one other. 1. JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan Chase takes the spot as the largest bank in the U.S. by deposits, with an astounding $2.13 trillion in deposits. Its history as a bank, which started in 1799, has included some of the most famous names in finance, such as legendary banker JP Morgan himself. The banking giant in its modern form was created through a series of mergers and acquisitions that included, among others, Chase Manhattan Bank, Bank One, Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual, and most recently, First Republic Bank in 2023. The bank makes money through everything from consumer checking accounts to global investment banking and asset management, with over 84 million consumer customers and 7 million small business clients in 2025. And its mammoth size has given it a particularly special role in the U.S. economy, with extra regulatory oversight, while its CEO and chairman, Jamie Dimon, is considered one of the most influential leaders in the global financial system. Check out this video here if you want to learn more about Jamie Dimon, the world's most powerful banker, and how he came to head up the largest bank in the world by market capitalization. JP Morgan Chase is worth over $800 billion as of the time of this taping. It truly is unmatched in scale and diversification, and it stands not only as America's biggest bank, but also as one of the most powerful financial institutions on the planet. Are you surprised by the banks on this list, or is it exactly what you expected? Drop a comment below to let us know, because that wraps up the list of the top 10 banks in the US by deposits, a list of regional players, national banks, and global institutions that dominate global finance and play critical roles in shaping the American economy. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.